Right, I'm changing the tool, but what I want to do, because I've already got the tool height set, what I'm going to do, I'm using this hogging out bit, what I'm going to do is bring the quill down with the tool loose in the holder until I hit 0 on my DRO. I've got that loose in the bit, so I'll bring the tool down. So what I'm going to do is bring the tool down until I'm zeroed on the DRO. Right, spot on. So now this tool will be set to the same height as the last tool. I know normally you wouldn't want to let your tool down onto the metal, but it was loose in the holder, and this is just aluminium anyway, so it's not going to damage the tool. It's a carbide hogging out tool anyway. So let's get on with that. Right, so we can now come back down to, let's go out to the end just in case. We can come back down to 5mm, which is where we had it before. There we go, lock that off, and away we go. Keep watching this right through to the end, because there's some really interesting stuff in this video. There's a lot of milling, chamfering, there's the use of the boring head to do some very complicated little journals, and yeah, I hope you enjoy it, but watch it all the way through, because this is a really nice little video, and at the end of it you'll see how this turned out really nice. I'm really pleased with the end result, as you'll see as you go through the video. That's the pockets roughly drilled out. That's these corners. Okay, they're milled out. Fortunately, this is symmetrical, so it's quite easy, because I've got my tool paths on here, so that's what I'm using. So I've got to hog a pocket out in the middle here. It's got to go down 25mm, which would be the full depth. Had we have not got the extra base on, this pocket would go all of the way through. But I've worked it out. It needs to go 25mm to clear the bottom of the journal on the bottom of the crankshaft. So I've got to cut the pocket out. What I'm going to do initially is, I think I'm going to drill it out, do a series of drill holes, and then I'm going to come back in with a roughing bit and get it to near dimension, and then I'll come back in with a finishing bit. The same with these corner pockets, they'll all be finished. I've also got the numbers marked on my vise, 24 and 21. Fortunately there's only 2 numbers, but anyway, that's just so I know what I'm doing and where I am, and it's all being done from the DRO. I ought to really show you just in case. There we go, there's the DRO. That's where I'm getting all my measurements from for the tool position. Right, I've got that drilled out. So what I'm going to do now is put the hogging out bit back in there and hog out this pocket to near dimension, and then we're going to swap over to a finishing bit to finish it off. I'm going to use the same procedure. I'm going to loosely put the bit in, bring it down. I've still got 0 on the DRO, bring it down, 0 the tool, and then we'll be up and running again. Right, that's everything roughed out. I'm going to change the bit out now for the finishing bit, and then we can go around, finish everything off exactly to dimension. That's the pocket, milled out. Gone a little bit deeper than the drawing. I've gone to 30 millimeters because I don't want to have to put it back in later and redo it. So I've just got to I've just got to now mill out the corners to the final dimensions, and then we've got the chamfer to put on. I'm not going to drill the holes yet until I've got the pieces that actually mount on there, and then I can drill through those to make sure we get good alignment. Got it all milled out now, all nice and finished off. All of these are down to dimension. Next operation will be to put this chamfer on, which comes on all sides, and then after that we'll be putting these radius in there. That's an 8.5 radius. I'll probably drill that centre with an 8mm drill. Drill that centre with an 8mm drill, and then I'll probably ream it to 8.5. That's to take the bearings for the crank. That's the crank bearings. Okay, so next operation, get the chamfers done. Right, I've got it set up now to do the angles. I'm going to just gradually machine those down by eye. I've got a scribe line on there, and I've got a machine down to this internal corner, and it'll come somewhere across there like that. This is day 2 on this particular piece, just to give you some sort of indication on how long these parts take to do, and how much time goes into making the videos, really. But you know, I enjoy doing it. So anyway, let's get this all angled off, and then we can punch the holes through for the bearings. first side complete. I'm not going to bore you with all of the sides, but just shows you how I'm doing it. I've just got it set up on some 45-degree angle blocks just to give me the angle, and then I'm just milling it off, as you see. But it's starting to take shape now. Problem I've got now is my table won't go far enough back to get the whole of this, so I'm going to have to do it in 2 halves and hopefully try and blend it in, but we'll see how it goes. I'll get it somewhere near anyway, and I might have to finish it with a stone. Just try and blend this corner in now. That's pretty good. There's a very slight mark just along this edge, but I think that's just where that hasn't cleaned off properly, but that's fine, because what I'll do is I'll just clean this up with a stone anyway. I'm going to go around all the edges and clean them up with a stone. Right, there we have it. Just to remind you, this is the original drawing. This is the original block which finishes there, so if you're just making the base for the engine to sit on, which is this piece, if you're just making that, then you won't have this piece on the bottom. But I had the big block of aluminium there, and I thought that would be a nice little way to finish it off. What I will have to do though is on one side, can't remember which side, I think it's this side that the flywheel goes on. The flywheel, we've got to cut these out for the bearings for the flywheel, and then what I'll do is when I've got the crank and everything through, I'll put the flywheel on and I'll mark off this section here, because I will have to mill that out the same diameter, or slightly bigger than the diameter of the flywheel, just on one side. It's still got to have some small little feet on it, because I think it's got to go up about 10 or 15 millimeters higher, because the flywheel, when it's mounted, will sit about there. But I thought that was sort of different from doing a you know, a standard sort of base and putting it on a bit of wood. I think that'd look nicer. Just my opinion, but anyway. Next job is to get these cutouts done for the bearings, which are these pieces. Right, just going to get it indicated in again now that we've done the other operations in case anything's moved. Right, I like to indicate it a couple of times when I'm doing something, particularly when it's something critical like this, where the it's got to line up with the other side, otherwise it's not going to run true, the bearings won't run true. It's an 8.5mm radius, and I've drilled it out to 13mm, and it needs to go to 17. The next biggest drill bit I've got after 13 is 16, and that's too close to risk it really. If the drill wobbles or anything, it could ruin the whole job, because the hole's got to be 17. So I've switched to the boring bar anyway, and it'll only take me a few passes, and it'll leave a much nicer finish, as you'll see a little bit later on the hole. So anyway, I've switched over to the boring bar now, as you can see, and I'm just getting the first side bored out. I've done this little sequence in real time, without speeding it up, that is, just so you can see that although it looks like it races through some of these operations, really they're very, very slow, particularly this one, because I run a good chance of making a mistake and ruining the whole component, which at this stage would be catastrophic. That would just set me back. Well, up to this point it's taken me about a day and a half to do this particular piece, so that would be back to square one and another day and a half if I mess it up at this stage, so great care is needed. Right, just to explain what I've done is I've bored out the hole at 8.5 radius with the boring tool. and then I put a 12mm bit in there, and I've come 2.5mm off of centre, which gives me 8.5 radius. Same this way, and that's given me the straight lines, or the perpendicular lines that line up with the tangent of the 8.5 bore. So that's that side done. I'm going to flip it over, re-indicate it, and do the other side. I won't show that because there's no point. It's just a repeat of how I done this side. So I've now got it machined out here. That's for the bearings to go in. They're the crank bearings. They're machined out. You've seen how I've done that, so everything now is fully machined on this piece now. What I'm not going to do, I'm not going to drill out these holes, which are the bearing holes, until I've got the bearing in, and then I'll drill through. Same with the support brackets, I'll drill through so everything aligns really nicely. Okay, so that's my plan for that anyway. And these holes, I won't be drilling them at all, which are these holes here. I won't be drilling them at all, because they would be for mounting it to the a block. If you were having it on a block of wood, they'd be to mount that. So anyway, that's this part finished now. That's the base finished for the time being. Put that somewhere safe so it doesn't get damaged, and I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly enjoyed doing it, and I hope you got as much out of it as I did. Ignore the machine marks, they're nowhere near how they look. They're actually, you can't even feel them. It's just that the camera and light magnifies them, but it all will be polished up when I get to the end of the project anyway. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And to show your appreciation for the time and effort put into making these videos, please consider subscribing and hit the like button, and I'll catch you next time.